first of all, we're going to show you how to do paraffin wax on your own hand, and this is just if you were doing a DIY treatment at home. Very easy to then translate this to working with a client. Just always be aware of health and safety, and when it's your own wax heater at home, you could dip your hand in and out of the paraffin wax, but as we've said, with cross-contamination and the risk of infection, it's best just to get used to using the method by painting it on in layers. So to show you how easy it is, I've just basically done a quick moisturisation on my own hand. You can do the self-hand massage, you can watch one of our tutorials for that. So I've got the layer of oil on the skin, and now I'm just going to use my dispensed paraffin wax. I've already tested the temperature on myself to make sure it's not too hot. It will be temperature controlled, but it's always best to do a little temperature check just in case it's too hot. And then all you're doing is just brushing it on in layers. Yes, it is going to clog up, that doesn't matter, it's all about getting the layers on. Feels lovely and relaxing to your client, and normally the scent comes straight into the room. They can't believe how lovely and warm it is. A good tip for yourself or for a client is to ask them to keep their fingers close together. It's just because it's a lot easier to then remove at the end. So you're just taking your time and building it up. What you'll find is when you do take the paraffin wax out and dispense it into your chosen dish, it does start to cool very quickly. But again, it's not an attractive looking treatment. It's all about getting the heat into the skin, warming up the tissues, warming up the muscles, and helping to relax your client. So just take your time and build it up. Completely okay if little bits flake off. That's just the nature of the treatment. Just make sure you cover each area. If your client's never had this done before, or you're doing it on yourself, can't explain how lovely and warm it feels. It's just such a relaxing thing to have done. But again, like any treatment, there's always the chance of allergies. So if anyone may have any allergies to the ingredients within it, maybe you've got the scented paraffin wax, then just always be careful to do a little patch test. Get them in to visit you, or if it's you doing it on yourself, do a little patch test 24 to 48 hours beforehand. So I'm quite happy with how that's looking just now. So again, we've chosen to use the cling film, but you may choose to use the bags or tin foil. So you're just very carefully turning the hand over, and it's exactly the same on the other side. Just taking your time, building it up. As you'll see, your brush does get messy, it does clog up, but don't worry about that, because we're going to show you as part of the tutorial exactly how to clean your brush the easiest possible way. But without telling you any lies, it is a slow process to clean your brush, so unless you want to throw them out and get a new one every time, it's going to take you a little bit of time just to remove the residue, but there are some easy ways to do it, so we're going to show you how. So again, just build that up. Normally you're talking about 3 to 5 layers. I'm speeding this up more than I would do normally, but just take your time and make sure that it's nice and evenly coated, because you want to get the best results, and also if it's more evenly coated, it's a lot easier to remove. Right, so once you've finished, all you do is just securely wrap up the hand. Again, if it was the bag, you just slot the hand into the bag, but now all you're going to do is move on to the other hand. Now realistically, when it's a client, it's very easy just to move on straight away. When it's yourself, do one hand, give it the full 10 to 15 minutes and remove, and then do the second hand. So I'm just going to give that its full 15 minutes and then show you how easy it is to remove. So removing your paraffin wax treatment mask is very easy. Some clients may even prefer the option of having the mask on and then using a heated mitt, but either way, the residual heat just very slowly cools, and to the point where your client doesn't actually feel it's gone cool completely. It just feels so relaxing and warm. If you're doing it on yourself, then you just start to wriggle your hands about and see if the mask wants to release itself. If you're doing it on a client, you're just inspecting it to make sure that it looks as if it's going to remove easily. Even if it doesn't come off in one go, it's very easy just to pick off the residue and even use a little bit of oil if you have to, just to break it down. But what you're doing is just grabbing the edge and you're very gently sliding the hand out. Again, sometimes it comes off all in one go, other times just as you're removing it, you're just catching any bits as you see them. What you will find though is the little bits of residue can just go onto your towels, which is why you never want to use anything expensive, because paraffin wax can stick to things and it can be quite tricky to remove. Not impossible, oil is the trick, but you'd rather not get yourself into that situation. So as we can see, the majority of the mask is off. If you didn't want to use your towels to do this, then get yourself some bedroll and then just dust it all off. Some people also use just a dry brush just to get rid of any residue. And then what you'll see is the hand will be noticeably healthier than the other because you've boosted the circulation, you've warmed it up. What a lot of people will then choose to do is either use some oil or use some sponges, just get rid of this residue, and then they can move on to the next stage of the manicure. If you're just doing it for yourself for a hand treatment, then you can just go and even give your hands a quick wash. All of this can just be rolled up, taken to your waste bin, make sure all the residue is put in one place. What you wouldn't want to do is put this straight into your washing machine because you could clog it up. So ideally, if you are working with anyone and you're concerned that you're going to have lots of waste, bedroll is your answer. But now we can just move on and do our other hand. It's that easy.